We'd like to share with you the different programs that we have at Collision Career Institute. This is our catalog, and in the catalog, the very top listing is each of the programs that we have. Each one is a different domain of learning, whether it's basic skills, where it's a combination of minor body technician skills as well as painter skills, mostly for preppers. And then we have a full technician program that takes you from soup to nuts in the entire program, but just for technicians. A similar program, but just for painters. And then we have one also for estimators or damage appraisers. So we're going to do a little deeper dive into each one of these so you kind of get a quick overview of what they're about. So in the Tech Basic Skills program, this is a great spot for somebody entering into the industry. They don't necessarily know if they want to be a technician, doing body repair, changing panels, learning to weld, or if they want to be on the painter side where they are taking it from the body tech and finishing all that work and detailing and finishing and painting the entire vehicle. These are two totally different domains in today's world, but they are somewhat blended together in this program to give them a better overview of some of the simple skills. So it includes body trim and minor repairs, where they learn how to fix small dents in steel panels, aluminum panels. They also learn how to do plastic repair, both adhesive repair and welded repair. They also move into the area of corrosion protection, learning how to apply seam sealers and help their trainer in many different ways to help keep them on track with getting cars delivered out of the shop. The other aspects that this gets into is dealing with replacing parts. So whether they're panels or whether they're individual bolt-on parts, or prepping for door skins and learning to replace door skins, replacing parts is a part of this program. Then it shifts gears a bit and moves into the paint prep area. So sanding and paint preparation comes next, where they take the work from a technician and they learn how to feather edge, block, prime, check it for flaws, mix and apply the primers, and get it ready for block sanding and finish prep for paint. Then the next category is also in the paint area, but it's dealing with detailing. So color sanding and buffing, denibbing and rubbing, detailing the inside of a car, making it totally prepared for delivery to a customer. This program, when you buy it as a complete program or block, you also get the 2 boot camps. A boot camp is one for technicians, whether it's painter or body tech. They go through their own boot camp that kind of gets them ready for integrating into the shop. So anywhere from a 4 to 8 week program that takes them through job shadowing 6 different positions in the shop, and then also helps them working half their day with each of their trainers. It gives them a good overview of how the shop operates and how they help customers get the best quality and satisfaction out of the work they get done. At the same time that the trainees are going through their boot camp, trainers have their boot camp. So a trainer would be like a mentor for an apprentice in a program. And so they're not learning the technical skills of the trade, they already know that. What they're learning is something that they probably weren't ever taught, and that is how to teach others their skills. And so that's what this boot camp is about. So they both go through their own boot camp at the same time, and each one is learning the aspects of their particular job. And for the trainer's part, it's to learn how to transfer their skills to the next generation. The Body Tech Skills program takes somebody from basically zero knowledge and experience all the way through to the point where they would be what's considered a B-level technician, where they can actually do minor structural repair, 3D measure cars. They can do welded panel replacements. They can go ahead and provide appropriate corrosion protection. Certainly do all the basic skills that an entry-level tech might do, the dent repair, more severe dents, repair aluminum as well as steel, but not in structure. They also replace parts welded or bolted on. And they can also move through the light structural repair, where they can measure and analyze vehicles, but likely not do a full rail changeout or a full frame replacement, though that has been accomplished by some of our apprentices. typically that's not in the scope of their work. But having them be able to do a sway repair, remove a twist out of a center section, correct a short rail, out of level condition, these are things that are certainly a part of their skill sets when they finish this program. We also take them through welded panel replacement and helping them prep either for doing spot welds or gas metal arc welding panel replacement. In the combination of these two skills, they're also prepping for the ICAR MIG welding certification test. As with each of the programs, when someone acquires the entire program at the same time, they get the two boot camps, the one for the technician themselves and the one for their trainers. The Painter Skills Program is a great spot for those that want to become a professional painter. It begins with the simpler areas of learning to take the work from the body technician and feather blocking and priming it, mixing and applying the fillers that go on top, the primers and the sealers, and also be able to learn to guide coat and block sand those and make sure that they're prepped and ready, prep for blends, mask the panels from the inside out, in all ways make the car ready and available for a painter to paint. Further on in their program, they also learn how to identify paint defects, whether they're in the finish or whether they're in the substrate or a chemical reaction in between the materials, and learn how to identify the correct method of resolving those problems and whether they can be done with just a finish or dealing with color sanding and buffing or whatever it might be. They also learn how to mix and apply colors. They learn proportion. They learn a little bit about the color wheel and learn how to identify this, the different aspects of color to be able to mix and apply paint properly. They learn appropriate gun handling techniques as well as all the safety aspects related to automotive painting. They also move in like the basic skills program, working with automotive detailing. So they go through the entire detailing program, and we're not just talking about color sanding and buffing, but also removing stains and other problems that are occurrent in a lot of the vehicles that come in for repair. Sometimes during a crash, liquids inside the car, coffee or sodas or whatever it might be, the beverage of the day, and those get spilled all over the car. And it's sometimes weeks before you get to the point of detailing the vehicle. And so they learn how to remove these problems quickly and simply and make the car in all ways ready for the customer to make them happy and provide a quality delivery. As with other programs, the two boot camps are included, the one for technicians, painters, and estimators, as well as the boot camp for their trainers. The damage appraisal track is a very interesting process in that it prepares not only estimators in a collision repair center, but also damage appraisers for insurance providers and independent appraisers. So what's unique about this is a lot of the same skills are required for multiple tracks here. So they go through the initial part of learning to handle parts, identify them either from a diagram or identify them physically on a car in damaged and distorted fashion from a crash. They also learn how to identify different part sources, where they come from, and the different types of parts and availability of those parts. Learn how to search and provide for them in their damage reports. The second area on this is dealing with learning how to analyze the damage. Not just click and drag parts onto an estimate, but also come up with a plan and a strategy on how to go about restoring the vehicle back to factory specifications. We start adding in elements of looking up and researching what the OEM requires for a certain repair on a car and embedding those within the estimate. This also works well in prepping them for the next stage, which is enhancing those estimates in ACR 183. By enhanced estimating, we're talking about pulling from every available resource possible, whether it's pulling from ICAR or for best practices from the OEM, required or recommended procedures, whatever might be the source of information that's needed to restore a car, that's all included in an enhanced estimate. and getting them tighter and tighter and closer to a perfect restoration of the car. This leads them to coming to structural damage analysis of the vehicle and includes suspension and steering analysis. Whereas during the teardown, they'll actually be able to measure and analyze the vehicle and determine what suspension and steering components are required for this vehicle without going through a massive remove the car, send it out the street to have a subcontractor determine what's wrong with the suspension. They would be actually able to, with about a 95% accuracy, measure those items in a matter of minutes and determine what is necessary for the vehicle. At this point, the two tracks separate a bit, and those that are destined for the Collision Repair Center have an option of selecting a few more advanced courses dealing with production management and blueprinting processes. Those that are headed toward the insurance side would deviate from that, and unless they also want those courses, they would lean more toward fraud detection and dealing with the the insurance damage appraisal process within an insurance provider. As with all other programs, each of these includes the two boot camps, one for the apprentice and one for the trainer.